curious as to how these beads made themselves known for that particular function. Do you know about the history of that?
From what I understand, it's very similar to like the gemstones. So, for example, Veda, the word Veda, it means knowledge. Okay? And it doesn't mean like book knowledge. It means knowledge that manifests as self-revealed knowledge. Okay? So just like the Yoga Sutras, the scriptures, the practice of yoga was self-revealed knowledge, which means people meditated and dawned within their awareness. The same thing with stones. They found the stones, they discovered that they affected things in certain ways, and they attributed it to that. The same thing here. These are considered the tears of Shiva. When Shiva's tears fell to the earth as these seeds and the Rudraksha trees grew up. And then through just studying their effects on people when they wore them, they found out how to attribute them to specific planets. Okay, so that's how most remedies work in that regard. So, Rudraksha beads, Rudraksha. And a lot of, you can find them almost anywhere. A lot of them, are used to them like this, smaller beads to count out mantras. And these in and of themselves, there are 5 mukis, most of them. So they're good for the planet Jupiter, but they're also good for balancing out your energetic field in general. Okay? But then you can get more specific with the bigger ones that have more detailed mukis or facets within them. Okay? And one thing, since you brought that up, in regards to gemstones, not all gemstones are good for everyone. Okay, so for example, since we're using Leo here, if we have a Leo ascendant, Mercury, Saturn, and Venus stones are not good for them. It would bring in more impulsive, negative aspects of their personality. So the stones for Leo would be like yellow topaz, ruby, or red stones, pearl, moonstone, and red coral. Okay? So you see, when you're prescribing astrological gemstones for people, you really need to look at a person's chart, because you can't just say, well, you're having this problem, so here, use a green stone, because Mercury might not be well placed in the person's chart. Okay? That's the other good thing about Vedic astrology. It can help you understand what stones are good for what, and which stones you should avoid. Because sometimes you can put the wrong stone on, and things just go really wrong. Okay. Other questions?
My next question is that if you've done any fun self-studies where you decided to take off the protection.
I have. Yeah, really, I'll admit, when I first got interested in this sort of thing, I was all about the beads and all about the stones and all that sort of thing. And I have to say, mostly now we're just for...
we could take them home, just for nobody else's.
What's the word?
Because we'll be there.
Decoration now. Because once they do their thing, you're good. Okay? So, for example, if you have a weak moon, that's what the pearl is for, a weak moon. If you have a weak moon, but you've done the work to strengthen your moon, you can take the ring off, and you're still fine. So these are just like training wheels. Now, that's debatable, and I know I catch a lot of flack for that. But I think it's pretty true. They're like training wheels. So the more intention you give to self-development, the less you need these things. Okay. However, they're good to have around just for fun. But if you're not able to overcome the planets so easily, and that says it here, if you're not able to overcome them so easily, use these things until you can. But be sure to be able to let them go when the time comes. Okay, you don't want to think that, oh, I'm not wearing my beads, so my day's going to be terrible. Then it is, because you're thinking that. Okay, other questions?
I'm curious, what are the stones for Cancer?
They're similar for Leo. So it's pearl, moonstone. That's a good one because it represents the moon. Ruby, because the sun is a friend of the moon. Red coral especially, because red coral is extremely good. Mars is a good planet for Cancer. And what was the other one I missed? Yellow topaz or yellow sapphire for Jupiter. Yeah, like they're divided up in certain ways. Like the sun, moon, Jupiter, Mars, they're all friends. They're considered friends within Vedic astrology. So within the chart, if you're one of those signs, then those gemstones can be worn for those planets. Saturn, Venus, Mercury, those are friends. So the stones for those can be worn for all the ascendants of the planets.
And in Vedic astrology, it's your moon sign or your ascendant sign?
The ascendant is the main thing you want to look at.